Game up, everyone! Alterac pass. Divine Vendetta goes up against Washed Up here today, and Washed Up with a victory over Granite Gaming has actually gotten a couple of points and positions in the standings. Divine Vendetta is still pretty much down at the bottom of the standings. I think they're 7th place actually. They're still looking a bit better right now than Go Next. But then again, Go Next has actually started to get better and better and better. So once we are heading into the second round of the league, it's going to be super interesting to see how the two teams are going to fare here. But today, any map win would actually be great for Divine Vendetta. They had a bit of a rough time recently. For Washed Up, they obviously have to try and get the big W here. But they also play with the sub again today. Nuruk, after already subbing for the team just recently, is replacing Smexy right now. We actually have that every now and then. A player is missing, he can't make the day, might already have an appointment there, so they have one of the other former pros subbing in. We actually see that quite a bit. Apparently, Mopsio is also going to sub in for Nothing Left later on. That's at least what I heard earlier. We'll see if that actually is there. But that's pretty much what we're currently looking at. So, I'm probably going to see my F being banned out now. It's actually, for me personally, so enjoyable to now be in the lobby myself and look at this instead of relying on the clean feed that we get for Gold League from the Chinese. I gotta admit that also the quality drops there and the frames are sometimes a little bit hard to deal with, but boy do I love this. Alterac pass, my F band out, and Hazuops is immediately going for Abathur here. I mean, right away. Goes straight in for the pick, and that is just absolutely brilliant. Love it. So, Hazuops with Abathur. Yeah, well, Washed Up at this point with a good start. Obviously, the question is, what do you combo it off with? I'm actually wondering if we're going to see a Deckard pick early on from Divine Vendetta to try and counteract that, but nope, instead we get Failstat. So, Born on Arthur, Smaragd with Falstad and a quick pick. Washed Up could still play that with Deckard even if they wanted to on the offlane, if they want to play that style, but either way, Abathur, I don't know, Abathur always is kind of fun. We don't really see him these days as often as I would like to. We mostly see smaller maps. We don't get as much Cursed Hollow, for example. And Abathur oftentimes on the bigger maps is banned out, but oh... Okay, we are in for a treat. Genji with Abathur is a pain in the ass. Tracer with Abathur is a pain in the ass. Washed Up is going full on Monka with this one. That is gonna be very, very interesting to say the least. Yeah, that will be horrible to go up against. Especially for Falstad. Can you imagine how Falstad feels right now? The Falstad player just looks at the draft and is like, oh shit, why me? Why me? FML. If you're Falstad and you go up against that particular lineup, you're thinking about just rage quitting. This is when you dodge the draft. This is when you go for draft dodging. It's like, do I just take the 600 points? Do I just take it, or do I go through the ordeal of actually playing this? Oh, I'm honestly interested to see how Falstad is going to play this. I feel he's already being forced to go into Lightning Rod build. There's the Dibbles ban after we've seen Malfurion banned out. Just to deny the combo with Tracer and Malfurion. That's the reason why Malfurion gets banned here right now. Still likely, I mean, could be a Tyrande pick for Divine Vendetta now. But yeah, I am actually very interested to see how Divine Vendetta is rounding up their draft now. Okay, Tyrael and Karazim. It's a little bit harder to take Karazim down. You have Tyrael with extra shields. So they're really trying to do their best to put pressure onto the opponent here, as much as they can in the setup. It's going to be difficult enough as is, but they at least have mobility on the map. They also have decent team fighting around all of the prisoner camps there. Washed Up on the last two picks. Do they actually pick a support, or do they just solo Abathur this? Mena doesn't have a hero yet, until of course they could switch still. There's Muradin. And there's Rhaegar. Is Mena actually gonna play Rhaegar? There's no way, right? They're gonna switch someone else over. Okay, this is... there needs to be a few more swaps when it comes to the roles here. But yeah, very interested to see this. I mean, Abathur with Muradin is a horror. Like, with every single hero here, Abathur is a pain. Now the last pick on the side of their opponents. Let's see how Divine Vendetta is going to play this out. They go for Greymane. Alright, so Tyrael empowered play with Greymane, trying to dart in. A lot of mobility on their end to try and get the kills here, especially against the squishies. With potentially pretty likely, actually, that they're heading into go for the throat here on level 10. But guys, that is it. Game number 1. The stage is set. Division S, and we're heading in. Divine Vendetta going up against Washed Up. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen, Divine Vendetta going up against Washed Up on Alterac Pass, and on the left side, Death Knight on Tyrael, Born on Arthas, Kupshi on Karazim, Smaragd on Falstad, and Slake on Greymane. On the right side of the map, we have Washed Up with Nurok today, replacing Smexy, which makes some interesting role swaps happen. Nurok on Genji, Eternal on Muradin, Mena in his main role now, playing support here on Rhaegar, Hazobs on Abatha, and JPL on Tracer, which we've actually already seen a little bit. Someone pointed out earlier in chat that Washed Up doesn't really have the best wave clear here, to which I can only respond with one line. Washed Up has a lot of team clear though, so I think they're going to try and farm the heroes on the blue team side. We'll see how that works out. And when it comes to the wave clear, I mean, they at least have Rhaegar, and Rhaegar's wave clear is pretty good. I mean, Rhaegar is also insane when it comes to camp clear, which is going to be great for them. Already Stormbolt quest on the side of Eternal, going straight into the perfect storm. Now again, there might be a difference between the stacks on the Stormbolt baseline quest and the perfect storm, so in case that you guys are not quite familiar with this, if you actually get a kill after the initial Stormbolt, then you get some additional stacks for your baseline. Super important, so if we end up with a discrepancy between the two talents here, that's the reason why, just in case you didn't know that yet. Outside of that, we have the Wingman build, as expected, from Falstad. That's exactly what I expected him to go for. I mentioned it during the draft. If you go up against Tracer and against Genji, you kind of want to go into a Lightning Rod build. I would have been very surprised to see an auto attack setup from him. Now, Hazobs needs to, of course, be a bit careful with Abatha. I mean, generally speaking, this is a great map for Abatha because the map is very big and nicely baited and dodged. Yeah, the map is actually really big, so you get a lot of value out of Abatha body soaking at any time whenever there's a fight over an objective or over a camp, maybe a stalemate around the boss, anything like that. But he also has to be careful because there's still Falstad on the other side, and Falstad is a pretty good setup where he can just, you know, fly in if he sees at any point the slug on the map and then get a quick kill in, especially with the build that he went for. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out there, so he needs to be careful about this. Yeah, Slake is going to be the one that we have to watch on the other side though, because he is going to try and get the kills in against the squishies, especially of course against Tracer here, but also against Genji whenever he has a chance for that. Nurok having a little bit of fun here. It was actually interesting. He subbed in, like, Nurok since HTC went down has actually committed more or less to full-time streaming, and has been streaming a lot of League of Legends, has been streaming a lot of other games too. And he subbed in for Washed Up just recently in one of the matches, and was talking about it later on Twitter, and just mentioning how much fun he had playing with the team, and that he would definitely enjoy to do it a little bit more in the future, which he does right now. Mena, on the other hand, is a little bit of wolf-on-wolf action. Usually not what I'm preferring to watch, but in this case, it was actually a close one. Smaragd gets the kill here, as we have, well, Greymane attacked. Oh, Nurok! Slake the entire time drawing the attention of the opponent's team, and at the same time Smaragd is just getting the kills in, and Slake actually gets away. A kill for a kill right there. Nicely done. That's actually pretty good there. With that said, there's actually a lot more of ex-pros that have started to dabble in heroes again. Nick, for example, formerly from Team Method, has been talking about how after a bit of a hiatus, he actually went back into playing heroes a little bit, and he enjoys it quite a bit these days. So a pretty sick setup here right now for the first objective, and an early commitment. I mean, normally on the map we're seeing very late attacks around the objective. I would expect Divine Vendetta to be a bit more forceful around it, since they have the 5 hit point bars in the map. Whereas Abatha, of course, can't really participate in those fights unless he has his level 10 ability. So that's a bit one. That said, top lane, also where we have Falstad starting to rotate himself. Down here, just pretty much an interrupt. Muradin is sneaking in again, Eternal just sitting there. 5 stacks on the Storm Bolts by now. Yeah, and we have again JPL just poking. And JPL has actually been doing fantastic for the team whenever he played either Tracer or Vala. They had a lot of double support carry comps with JPL in the damage position, especially on Battlefield of Eternity. And I think they actually won all of those maps. They did really well with that. Now we're having the Swift Retribution here, a bit more movement speed, a bit more attack speed. Fantastic talent for Greymane particularly, but also Kerrigan of course can benefit from it. But particularly Greymane has a lot of fun. Bit of a hybrid build here also for Falstad. Oh, there's the bomb again. They're going for Death Knight. Falstad still going for the boomerang. Oh, Death Knight! This time he goes down. That's the kill right there. Genji with the kill. Able to get the final hit in. And we have the commitment for Slake. And he is not getting out of this. Norog, he's the executioner here. Jumps in for the final hit with another Swift Strike, and he's already on the chase as they're trying to go for Falstad. Kupshi has also the dart out. They got the mobility, but I think initially the mobility was meant to chase heroes down, not to run away from them. Falstad still with the body. Falstad could try and get out of that top lane. It was currently body soaking. It's Smaragd. I don't know if he has his global up. They also still want to fight over the objective, of course, but it's a little bit too late. That one's already taken. So with this, we have now Mule on level 7 for Abathur. We're currently having, in terms of stacks, 9 on the baseline, and for the level 1 for Muradin. Obviously going to try and get as much of that damage out as he possibly can. Nothing really too crazy when it comes to the Abathur build. I mean, if you're going for a setup with Tracer and with Genji, you would expect him to go straight into the pressurized glance here. And Needle Spine, definitely a powerful talent to have on level 4 as well. Allows Hazel to get a bit more damage in. And since they expect to chase a lot, that's definitely a great talent for them to take. The Raiders on the map, and that's now the question of how much can they actually do with this. They're already threatening the bird. And as I said during the draft, the bird is not going to have a lot of fun in this game. I would be shocked if he did. Bot lane, that's where most of the action is happening right now. Falstad still needs to be careful topside and is already being attacked, but down here and trying to get a kill as the first Raider is about to be taken out. Well, the second one, the one in the mid lane, has already been defeated. Right, they're able to get this one. Nicely done. Problem is, this is a 4 versus 3, which means that at the top side we have the aggression against Smaragd, and as I said before, the bird is in trouble. As the X-Strike, to be honest, it wasn't even needed. the quick spray. And if you are Falstad against a Genji, you already hate your life quite a bit. If there's an Abathur involved too, then you know that you're going to be in for a tough time. And that's exactly what's happening right here. There's a level 10. Death Knight already about to jump out. Ooh. I actually think in this particular game, Nurok identifies as a cat. Trying to get the bird as much as he can. Natural predator right there. Level 10 versus 10. I mean, there's a level behind right now for Divine Vendetta. We're still seeing the flank attempt here from Eternal. Level 10s are in for both teams, and as expected, to go for the throw to try and get the kills against heroes like Tracer. Same time now, though, do we have anything that really stands out? We don't have Bloodlust, which I know a lot of people were hoping for when they saw that Rhaegar is being played here, especially with Mena. But, yeah. The Snowball is already a bit there. There's 1 fort down so far. We have still 4 kills against 1. But this can always turn around pretty quickly. Yeah, Tracer is already sitting there. This is also another thing. If you have the toxic nests everywhere, you know about the movements of your opponent quite easily, and that's always super important there too. Another Stormbolt connects that puts up to 14 for Eternal. So he's at this point sitting at a pretty decent number actually. Gets decent damage out from his level 1 as well. Let's talk damage for a second. I mean, let's have a quick look at the numbers here. So far, Tracer, JPL, with 13k. A little bit of a desperation move if you ask me, going for the bottom boss here. And I'm not so sure if that's going to work out. Now they have Mighty Gust. That is going to be a great tool, but there's the copy already as they're starting to go for it. And guess who's being attacked first? Yep, the guy with the Gust. So they go for the bird here, and the boss is still there. Ancestral had to be thrown out, Mena with the early one. Copy goes down too. Boss is still being attacked here though. Neuro prevents it for a moment from being leashed. Leashes after all. But it's still a pretty decent fight. Hazorps taking position at the top lane with Abathur now to get the body soak in. That's the important part, for them at least. And the kill against Slake, and the bird is there too. Sanctification just a moment too late. Nurok himself now threatened for a moment, but they're trying to turn it around against Arthas, and they get another kill. There's the resets coming in, one after another. A good monk always palms himself, and that's where Kupshi is able to jump out. But the kills keep on coming, and so do the stacks for Muradin's baseline, already completed. Got the extra kills afterwards, so we have him with a completed baseline. We have 19 also on his level 1. And of course with that too comes now a level 13 talent advantage and the opportunity to grab the boss right there. Nicely done. A good commitment by them to get the boss. Mena, the only one who's still sticking around there, but obviously now they have even more pressure on the map as well. Yeah, it's a little bit dicey. I mean, this is going to be really tricky for Divine Vendetta. With level 10 abilities, they had actually a decent start into the fight. They took the copy down. They made sure that the Ancestral was also burned. So got a little bit dicey there for a second for Washed Up, I'd say. But once the kills keep coming, then of course the snowball is absolutely real. And that pesky Abathar is just a problem. Look at the discrepancy that we're currently seeing here. Let's have a quick look actually at the experience as we're seeing this. Abathar has soaked 9,000 XP, 3,000 more than Falstad, who has been playing on the solo lane quite a bit. And you look at the minion XP and also the mercenary XP. I mean, like, Abathar is just absolutely keeping them on those ends. The hero kills are also super important. So, yeah. It's actually a pretty big advantage for them to have Abathar, the slug, in the game here. And also a lot of pressure down at the bottom of the map. Nuruk is already helped out by the symbiote here, and as we said before, Smaragd, he can't feel safe. The boss, they're going through this easy peasy. The fight up here to the top delays everything, of course, a little bit. But at any point, Nuruk can start attacking, and that's exactly what he does. And Smaragd just nearly doesn't have a chance there. He falls, or he basically was about to die there and had to back off again, which allows Nuruk to pressure the keep even more. And that's the problem with the bird against this. But at the same time, they have to give this up slightly. So now we're having an attempt to reclaim the position on the prisoner camp. Genji is still at the bot lane, saying like, guys, I get value here. Nearly takes down the fort. The bird still doing what he can, but eventually Nuruk is very likely to move straight into the fight to help his team out, because they can't really afford to lose the objective. It's honestly a really strong one, so you need to be a bit careful with this, but Nuruk is still sitting at the bot lane. There's the explosion. Sanctification comes out too. Objective again. There's the channel at least happening. They try to go for Arthur's, and the objective is taken. The grunt made it happen. And now the copy is down again. The palm is connecting, but doesn't get triggered. And there goes Greymane. Greymane down. Arthur's follows. They go for Kupshi. The monk is dead. And now it looks like we're going to see Tyrael fall too. Lose the match, but they lose the back fight here, and just look at the experience difference that we have now. In the meantime, Nuruk has taken the keep at the bot lane. They go for the objective themselves now. 13 against 16. Oh, it's honestly insane at this point. But as I said before, the lineup really works out for Washed Up in this first game here. Having them obviously with the level 16 now with the extra speed, of course, too, which makes it even harder for the bird to get away whenever the engage happens. On top of that, the full swift strike build here. Muradin hasn't even made a choice just yet. Normally you would expect Stone Form to be taken here, and again, you can go for the jump if you want to. They get the boss topside, and of course the objective is coming into play now as well. So this is going to hurt a lot. First of all, you need to be careful bot lane, that you're not losing hit points on the core itself, on the main boss, on the raid boss. But now the push at the top is going to just demolish. If that keep survives, I'm gonna eat my hair. And I could see the game itself ending here, to be honest with you. Okay, there we have it again. Slight adjustment. Bit of a move there. Adjustment here with the Dwarf Launch on level 16 for Muradin. Oh, the insta-kill against Greymane. He is down already. Yeah, this is not going to be pretty. This is going to hurt. 1 down, 4 versus 5 defense, a talent down, 3 levels down, boss and objective moving in. 1 keep already eliminated. This is going well. Not at all. Washed Up with a great aggressive combo, and they're just farming here. At this point, the Sanctification keeps Tyrael alive. They're trying to keep the boss in play for as long as they can, but this is going to be game, ladies and gentlemen. Washed Up. They are going to take a game number 1 here. I can only see red. Smaragd goes down. The bird is dead, and that is chicken for dinner as Tyrael and Kerrigan both fall. And that's the end of game number 1. Alterac pass leading us into the best of 5, and Washed Up taking the first W against Divine Vendetta. GG, well played. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Towers of Doom. Washed Up already in the lead after we just had our first map, All Direct Pass. Pretty hyped now for the second game. Usually Towers of Doom is a pretty awesome map. And let's face it, with Nurok currently swapping in for Smexy, Washed Up is pretty aggressive today. This is another great map, obviously, for Abyssal, and with Divine Vendetta, they're done with that shit. They're looking at it and they're immediately saying, like, yeah, that ain't happening today. No, 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 no. So, they learned their lesson from game number 1. And well, with that said, Washed Up, they currently ban out Anuburak, so they don't deal with that. We're having Divine Vendetta, probably going to address either Zeratul. I guess Zeratul, and then they might aim for... Then again, if they play more they play more Zeratul than Maiev, I want to say. So maybe they ban out Maiev right now and hope that they get Zeratul, something along those lines. No, it's the other way around. So apparently Slake doesn't want to play it here, so they ban Zeratul out. Washed Up has now the chance to ban Maiev unless they're willing to let her through. Let's see what we're gonna do here. Washed Up, what are they gonna ban? Now I just want to point this out real quickly. Washed Up recently played Vikings on Dragonshire. I'm just saying. And if Divine Vendetta doesn't pay attention there, I wouldn't put it as Hazo Ops to just say like, hey guys, we're already ahead in the series, let's Viking this shit up. Divine Vendetta with the first pick into Maiev, now that Anna gets banned out. It's actually funny, when I cast Gold League, the Korean players and the Swedes, they usually after their games jump straight into my Twitch chat and talk a little bit. And Hyde was jumping into the chat. Oh my god, again, Tazada and JPL on Tracer. Yeah, Hyde jumped after a game that they played into the Twitch chat and was talking a little bit about how he feels like Anna is just incredibly OP right now. And I just told him, dude, tell Blizzard, because they don't know. They address a lot of heroes with those balance patches, but for some reason Anna doesn't get touched there. So Diablo and Jaina come out. If you get a good tether off and maybe a good cage with an Apocalypse, then Jaina can definitely murder here. But we have again JPL on the hyper carry with Mena and Tazada. What's actually happening with Mena today? First he plays Rhaegar, now we have him on Tazada again. What happened? Did he lose a bet or what's going on there? It's a little bit weird, to be honest. I mean, right now, maybe Mena has discovered his true calling. He's just like, guys, I don't really want to do damage. I want to heal all of you. I want to show the love. That doesn't sound like Mena, though. Hanzo banned out, and what is Divine Vendatte gonna get rid of? Is it gonna be the ban on the Vikings? But honestly, with that composition, you're not really thinking Vikings anymore. If you go double support, I mean, that would be fair. You want to have a strong format, right? A double support Tracer with a good frontliner? I mean, maybe. But I don't quite get it. So, let's see. Washed Up. I mean, if they pick it last. Asterial, more shields, and Imperius. Yeah, I would say that it's kind of unlikely that we're going to see Vikings with this particular setup. Yeah, very likely that we're going to have... Is actually Nura going to play the main support? It would make sense. Hazob's on Imperius, though? That's an interesting touch. If anything... Nah, I guess with JPL playing Tracer today, I mean, it's a little bit opposite. They like to play that stuff. Anyways, so last two picks here, Dehaka and Uther. Uther is actually starting to make his way into at least the Chinese meta quite a bit. And there's Deckard Cain, the old man for Nurok. A little bit better now. Great skin, by the way, too. He's a little bit stronger since Blizzard addressed him in... Was it the last patch or the previous one? In one of the last patches, and yeah, he is actually starting to make a comeback here. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2, best of 5, Washed Up against Divine Vendetta. Game number 2, Divine Vendetta against Washed Up, and on the left side, Death Knight on Diablo, Kupshi on Uther, Born on Dehaka, Slake on Maiev, and we have Smaragd playing Jaina. And as we're heading over to Washed Up, we have once again JPL on Tracer, this time with a double support even. Mena on Tacita and Nurok on Deckard Cain. Eternal is jumping into the main tank position. Now that Smexy is not with them today, and they have Nurok as a sub-player. Hazu Ops, therefore, left on Imperius on that side lane. Hazu is jumping all over the place right now. But let's have a little bit of a look at this. Let's see how exactly this game is going to pan out for them. JPL has already played quite a bit in the damage role lately for the team, and they definitely have fun. I mean, honestly, this is one of the best things in the current Division S setup that they have for Europe, that the players definitely enjoy playing the games. I mean, they're having a ton of fun. The players are streaming their point of view too. There's a lot of fun conversations happening there as well, and that's what we're going to see there. It starts to become a little bit dicey on Washed Up side when they're starting to lose a map or two, because then Mena gets a little bit annoyed and gets salty. And when Mena gets salty, then you need to win, or he's going to be a very, very unpleasant fella for the next hour. So yeah, but Mena has actually started to take over a lot of the drafting for them, because he said, okay, we can meme a little bit, I'm okay with that, but when the shit hits the fan, we need to deliver. This is the thing about some people like Mena. He is competitive to a fault, so even when you have fun, he wants to win. And when things don't go their way, then things need to be changed immediately, because there's a chance you could actually lose, and you can't have that. So yeah, with this, we're actually now seeing, well, first of all, when it comes to talents, nothing crazy. One thing to maybe point out is that we have again Naisha's Memento taken on level 1. There's been a few different Number Brian builds and other stuff lately. We're going to see that. Also, we're having Sapphire taken on level 1 for Deckard Cain. Nurok has played a mean Deckard Cain in HGC. I'm kind of looking forward to this. What's going to happen right there if he gets a couple of those good ults through again. Actually, Maiev is a little bit in trouble there in the mid lane for a second against Tyrael. Eats quite a bit of damage as the bot lane gets escorted in. That's already 3 pumpkins connected. Level 4, slightly quicker for them too. Mena obviously the entire time just attempting to make sure that he gets as many stacks as he possibly can, but we're also now seeing Karla's Embrace taken as a level 4 ability. So yep, with Karla's Embrace already sitting in a position where he can help out JPL to sustain himself a little bit more through those fights. It's always like, do you go for armor, do you go for life leech? And to be honest, these days with most of the characters you would probably go for armor. It's just a bit more versatile and helps you to keep the front line alive too. But if you have Tracer, and she's definitely a hero where there can't be any discussion around it, you want to go for this one. Mena not going for a panic dimensional shift. Nope, they're trying to go for Smaragd. But JPL had to back out with the recall. Shield wasn't ready yet. Mena didn't have the cooldown, so Smaragd moving away here. Yeah, Deathknight on the other hand gets attacked. Locked down actually. Another nice seal here from Deckard Cain, but not enough to seriously threaten him. So well, with that said, we're currently having at the top lane, again, the even exchange. I mean, this is what you usually will see here. Keep in mind that the Haka has, of course, the ability to turn the bot fight into a numeric advantage for his team. And this is actually one of the big things to consider here, generally speaking. Already, the attempt to go for the drag. Nurok trying to do his best to dodge it as much as he can. Born with a lot of patience here, actually. Body blocks are happening. Nurok, and wow, they're just dancing around this. Unbelievable. Born with a place against Deckard Cain. Great play by him. That was actually really well done. Great job by Born, and eventually Deckard Cain dies, so the Dehaka value right there. Slake is a bit low though, and the parting gift actually interrupts that night, so the fight isn't even over yet. But with this, we're now having again the zoning attempt as Eternal is trying to get the interrupt, and he does. And guess who's back? Yeah, we're having Deckard Cain back to business. They try to force the fight down here on the other hand, but the interrupt potential is plenty. But JPL goes down. 2 kills against 0 in favor of Divine Vendetta. Another interrupt comes through. And obviously with Hazu now being back. Born again with a great burrow here, dodging all of it. Can they get the drag connected now too? There's the channel again. Interrupt comes in. They go for Tyrael, and they're about to get another kill. Oh, and there it is. 3 kills against 0. Early level 7, and, well, Washed Up is still staying in the fight. There's a little bit, they stay in this fight like some people stay in an abusive relationship. They just keep coming for the hits, and now 3 heroes down. That's definitely bad news. They need to learn the lesson here and just back off, which they eventually did after the level 7 was there. Better late than never, but whew. That was a good fight for Divine Vendatte. It was a really nice place that we just have there from them. And Born, kudos. Great play here by him. Great play on Deckard. I mean, recently the Deckard plays are honestly kind of insane. If you watched Boluo play, was it actually Boluo? Yeah, it was Boluo. Boluo, when they played against Beyond the Game in Gold League, oh my god, that Deckard play on Cursed Hollow, like he absolutely murdered them there. That was brutal. Talking about murdering things, JPL again low, but the team helping him, pushing them out here. And so far, it was actually a pretty successful defense here, but that could have been the end of Tracer once more. Still the lead. Higher level ahead right now. The Deckard value obviously is real. Death Knight gets a bit pressured, and they're immediately going for Tracer again. I like that about the playstyle that they develop here right now. Every single time that JPL moves in, they're just starting to pounce on him and get quite a lot of damage in and force him to recall early. That's actually really, really nice. So with this, we're having now towards the top lane. Born still doing his thing and rotating, but they need a bit more help in the mid lane, which is where Slake already had it, to make sure that they're not losing out on any experience there yet either. Single altar on the map. And, well, at the same time, we're now having at the bot lane, still the 4-man. Woo! JPL. Tracer just darting in. You know why the love cloud is there? Think about what the cloud is looking at. That's Tracer's butt right there. If you would look at that all day long, you would be happy too. Oh, man on the bot lane dodges out on the skills. As we have Jaina with a quick attempt to at least relieve him of some hit points. At the same time now, here comes Death Knight again. Ooh, the channel Slake, does he get it? Nah, the seal. Just in time here, just in time. The poke, Deckard at the top lane, again waiting for an opportunity to move back in. Does that, but comes too late to have an impact here on this one. Okay, so with this, there comes the channel. Nice, they're trying to go for the kill against Eternal. Can't get that too though. 28 against 36 points on the core at this point. Divine Vendatte is actually starting to get a bit of a headway here. Level 10 abilities are in on both sides. And my FS said, you know what? I don't really care about the cage. We are going straight for the disc, baby. I'm gonna make a play around that and force the fights, and they might have to do that right now. Death Knight is already low. Born comes in. He wants to play too. And here comes the Apocalypse. That was not really a successful one. Zoning Apocalypse, if anything. Then again, Nurok with a sleep against Jaina. Smaragda's isolated as a result and goes down. Alright, there we have it. That's the first kill for Washed Up. Literally first kill for them. House Orbs also, I mean, dude, I'm not angry, House Orbs. I'm not angry. I'm just a little bit disappointed. Angelic Armaments might be a great tool, but come on, dude. It's all about the Wrath. It's all about turning Imperius into Delivery Boy. That's what really, really matters. If he goes and just, yeah, takes on the Postmate skin, that's when shit is really happening in the fights. It's just full delivery system right there. I mean, same time, bot lane, a little bit more pressure right there, and another tower down. It's the constant pressure bot side, right? You want to get the bell tower. Once you have that conversion, those mercenary camps are just more and more impactful, and you create a huge problem for the opponent on the map. It's one of the main reasons you focus so hard onto the bot lane. Born again with a nice drag here, a bit of extra damage against Eternal. Can't really focus anything here, but still. And he has the double altar on the top, usually an even exchange, but what are they going to do here? Are we going to do... Are we going to see some kind of shenanigans around it? Any kind of invades? Doesn't seem like it, man. It's just an even channel. That puts then the core off to the side of Washed Up down to 24 points with the shots fired here. Little attempt of catching the rotation. But that didn't work out either. So starting to move in again. Yeah, Mena's already sitting at the side. Went into the Archon, stay a while and get, well, maybe wrecked, we're not quite sure yet. But the seal comes in and it's a bit too late. The slow came through, but not so the lockdown. Deckard is still fighting at the top lane with Imperius. Doesn't really want to go down there yet. Oh my god, Slave gets the immediate Divine Shield. And on the other side, the Sanctification came out. I was actually blown away that Slake even engaged into that for a second. I thought, what are you doing, dude? He was so low, and then he goes for the tether, but they nearly got a kill out of it. Pretty decent play. That was literally just Uther telling him, dude, I got you. Go in, try and get the tether. I got the Divine Shield. Also a great move by him. Then again, using the Vault of the Wardens on the trade to jump out of this one. But, yeah. Bottom lane. There's the movers there trying to get the counter. I gotta admit, I mean, Divine Vendetta, they might now start to lose that lead a bit that they have, at least from an experience perspective. But they are playing pretty well against this. 3 kills against 1, especially after the first game. That's not too bad. The Haka factor, for sure. A huge part. Again, making the play here over to the middle. 4 versus 4 setup. Slake gets the hits in against Mena, who's taking the beating. Nullification would help him to negate a lot of that if he wanted to. And again, the Ancient Blessings. One of the greatest talents that we have on the side of Deckard Cain. Fantastic talent from it here. How about the constant poke now? I mean, Mena has completed his quest, talent on level 1. And the next level, the next talent is going to give him, obviously, a much bigger spike thanks to the Psionic Echo that he is undoubtedly going to take. Stay a while and listen a little bit, baby. And can they get the kill afterwards? Nope. Mena, on the other hand. Ooh, the disc actually missing him. Yeah, Mena is a bit low. Mena is really low on his Archon. He should still have a dimensional shift ready. They're going for the Haka again, who's moving out. They're all too low. They can't fight here. They just need to back off from this one. With Slake this low. Oh, unless... Oh, Born! You are insane! What a follow-up with a stun here. Fantastic follow-up there from Born. And without it, Tracer would have survived this. But Born gets the drag at the perfect time, just when Diablo's stun wears off. And they are able to get the kill. Tracer down 4 kills against 1. Divine Vendetta absolutely rocking it here right now. So yeah, not bad. I mean, seriously, Born is currently my MVP of the game here. There's a lot of other guys that also make the plays. Don't get me wrong, it's not like he alone is making everything happen, but his plays are super valuable in every single team fight. And it's quite something. That said, bot lane, they're still fighting back here. JPL, he gets the shields from Tyrael, he gets the shields from Tacita on the money pick, riding in style. And still struggling a bit to get those kills out. Deckard Cain obviously with the heals too. Sanctification already out as they're trying to go in again for the big hit. Here comes Hazu. He's a bit low. He needs to be careful. Yeah, isolation hits Tracer again. Someone nerf Born, please. Ah, double stun on the APOC. Tacita is dead, and they get Deckard Cain to 3 heroes down. Pumpkins on the map, moving through the bot lane. 15, nearly 16 for Divine Vendetta. It is opposite day. They are murdering here. They are looking at Washed Up and they're saying, guys, if you underestimate us, we're going to kick your butt so hard you won't be able to sit for a week. And in particular, Born, I mean, he needs to be nerfed quickly. If Blizzard watches this, then the next hotfix is already underway, I can tell you that much. I mean, he hits everything. Isolation on Tracer, one lick after another. I thought Sugar Daddy 69 would have been a loss on their end and that he was the real Dehaka for them, but it seems like we're having a worthy replacement here on the side of the Meme Machine, aka Divine Vendetta. No Sugar Daddy needed here today. 5 shots fired, they already got the bottom bell tower. Boom, straight to the face. 3 on the counterpart. But that is a lot of hits coming in. I mean, right now we're talking 14 against 25 points. 14 against 25 points right now. And Dehaka still up at the top lane. 7 kills against 1. Down to the bottom. It's Death Knight again. They're trying to hold on to the bell tower for as long as they possibly can. Little task force there in the middle. Trying to deal with it. JPL zipping around. But let's see what they can actually do there. That's the first one that he actually missed. This time it doesn't connect. Trey's a little bit too nimble. Actually was more of an anticipation lick than anything else. Anticipated Tracer to move a little bit farther to the top. JPL this time did not do him the favor of dodging exactly that way. Now there are a lot of stuns to consider now, of course, too. You have 16, so Benediction becomes a big thing. You're having also now the elongated tongue. He already performed marvelously with the previous tongue, but now the tongue is even upgraded. I mean, can you imagine the things he can do with this? I bet a couple of people in chat can. There's the Psionic Echo. Expected earlier. So we'll see what they can actually... I mean, that should really soften them up quite nicely. So double altar up again. And keep in mind, this is 5 altars, 5 bell towers now against 3. So if you get both, then, well, we're gonna have washed up down to simply 4 points on the core. And that, as you all know, is boss. That's simply boss right there. Well, with this, Dehaka, is born in trouble. Tried to dodge. Hazob's juking him out a little bit, but the drag is there, and they have to back off. Alright. Nicely done here. Nicely done. Here comes the attack against Death Knight, but the channel from Uther at the bot lane is already ready. Death Knight in trouble. Where's Uther when you need him? He's still channeling. They get the 5 shots, but I don't think they're going to get more. Dibbles is going to be back to business, obviously, thanks to the souls that he had already stacked up. Yeah, he was reliant on a quick heal, and he didn't get that. So, with the Holy Ground, he just got zoned out. It was a good play by Eternal. Zoning out Death Knight. Obviously, he thought initially he would be able to just walk away. Very hit point heavy. Obviously, with the Soul Shield on level 1, so that really helps. But it was a bit problematic when that came in. So they recover the bell tower at the bot lane. That's the important part for now. Born is still sitting at the top side, doing his thing. Let's have a little bit of a look at the stats here as well. I mean, Dehaka now with 100,000 siege damage, 120 for Tacita. So obviously doing really well with this. Yeah, there's a big fight with the Sanctification already used. The rest of the team wasn't there, so they forced a 4 versus 5 for a moment. With single digits on the core, Washed Up needs to be a bit careful about the level 20 upgrade that's soon going to come for Divine Vendetta. So they need to be a bit cautious around that. But right now, they're still just looking for an angle. And they have, of course, with the 16 talents, now an even on eye level fight if they can force that. As the push against the bottom bell tower. That's going to be an important one. Keep in mind, Sanctification is not ready. Here comes the Stay a While and Listen. Divine Shield is out and keeps him alive for now. And the Apoc, the drag again. Dehaka with another play, but Death Knight falls, and so does Maiev. 2 down, and the Holy Ground is isolating Kupshi, but in the backline they get the kill against Hazops. All of a sudden, 3 versus 3 on the map, and Smaragd, the ice blocks it, and he still falls. Kupshi is maybe getting away. No, I'm just kidding. He's also dead. 4 down. Only Dehaka is still alive. Kind of fitting, if you ask me. He's actually thinking about channeling the altar and then realizes, maybe I don't have enough time for this. He's going to try this one, though. And yeah, it's not going to work out either. But Uther is back. They had level 20, so Kupshi is already back to business. They're going to try and hold on to at least 1. 4 points that they could potentially take. There's another drag, yeah, being a little bit of a nuisance. Trying to buy as much time as they possibly can, but it's a 2 versus 3. There's 1 interrupt, but they don't have too many, and those Holy Grounds are starting to be annoying. Very annoying, to be exact. That's the first channel. That was the important one. Get this one first. Get the one on the left side first, and then make the play for the right side. We have seen a couple of insane comebacks against, well, not only Divine Vendetta on this map, but also against Go Next. Is this another one of those instances where you just fall as your opponent takes level 20? Both have the talent now, which means that, amongst other things, we're now also getting the Twilight Archon, which is obviously always an issue. That's the 4 shots fired, 8 in total with the altar, and that puts them down to 10 against 9 points on the core. So all of a sudden, things are looking even again. Even talents, even levels, nearly, well, not even kills, but even points on the core. It's time for a Born play, if you ask me. Can Born do it? He's getting a little bit too excited right now. He's getting the tongue out too soon here. Need to be a little more careful, my friend. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's very skilled with that thing, but still... okay. Once again, jump over there. Altar is not announced just yet. They're just literally looking for the fights. And yep, there comes another attempt by Born, but this time JPL is starting to pick up a little bit on that. And with the constant storms, we're actually seeing this one taken down there all the time. So it's about to go in for a comeback. Yeah, here comes another attempt. Born with the isolation, Contagion hits. Yep, and there we have it. The disc is also out. Can they get the kill? It doesn't really look like this has any impact whatsoever, but that big move. Nicely done here. The problem is that we have Jaina in trouble. She ice blocks it for a moment, but it goes also down. Dehaka is eliminated. It looked initially like it would be a great start into the fight for Divine Vendetta, but now we're having Washed Up, turning this around quickly. A good spear connect here from Imperius, and then there is 4 down. Only Dibbles survives. The bottom bell tower has now been taken to. and we have them going straight for the camp. Fantastic comeback here by Washed Up. Great fights here towards the late stages. Massive problem for Divine Vendetta to just sustain themselves through the fight. They had a couple of cool engages here. The Contagion connected well, they had the disconnected from my F2, but they couldn't really do a whole lot with the fight the way they wanted to. Nurok it's just zipping around the bell tower here. And it seems like they're going for all of them. There's a bit of a fight with Hazops and Death Knight happening, but that obviously only distracts here from the real play, which is up at the top, where they're going to try and now take the bell tower to make sure that they get the endless barrage going. But with now Diablo down 2, this game is pretty much over. The Chandelier alone is already going to deliver the last final drop, since the barrage is going to start in a second as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. A 2-0 lead for Washed Up as they made a comeback happen against Divine Vendetta here on Towers of Doom. GG. And well played, Washed Up taking the 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines. Washed Up with a pretty solid comeback there. Actually well done by them against Divine Vendetta on Towers of Doom. You might actually realize that there's a little bit of a switch on the side of Divine Vendetta. We were here before, let's just put it like this. We were halfway through the draft, and then all of a sudden the draft dropped, and it turns out that we had one player on the side of Divine Vendetta drop Death Knight, his Battle.net disconnected. I'm actually not quite sure if it was his internet or his Battle.net, but he couldn't make his way back. So after we waited for 5, 6, 7 minutes, they decided to look for a sub player. Had some trouble finding a sub player for Death Knight as well. And then finally we had a hero stand up, stand tall, and go in. Gockel is going to be the new player on their end, and is going to try and help them win game number 3 so that they have a little bit of a comeback there. So with this said, we have a new Burak picked first again, Zarya banned out, and so also Abatha. This is actually the exact same way that the draft has started before. Now, they have talked a little bit about potentially redrafting slightly, because apparently there was a Kerrigan pick on the side of Washed Up, and that was apparently Hazops memeing a little bit and just going in and dropping the Kerrigan in there. Divine Vendetta agreed to it, said like, yeah, no problem, you can draft whatever you want. But up to this point, draft is actually identical. Anubarak, Hanzo Garrosh, same picks that we had the last time. They go for Ana, as Ana was still open. Maiev is open too. I kind of went over all of this already the last time the draft was here. But as you can imagine, the redraft has kind of shaken things up a little bit. But as it stands, we have now the Ana and Jaina combo on their side. So, definitely switching it up, and no Kerrigan this time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Goggle fits into this as well. I was actually told in the chat earlier that he is a tank player too, and they might put him onto the off lane depending on what the lineup is going to be like. But obviously it's not going to make the case of Divine Vendetta any easier now that they're own 2 behind. Would be kind of insane if Goggle comes in, makes the big boy plays, and helps them to win. It would be kind of crazy. Now, the interesting part is also that he is someone that regularly watches on the Twitch chat, actually. On the Twitch stream. Maiev gets banned out, and our third ban on the other side. What are we getting from Washed Up? It is the Tyrande ban. It's actually interesting, because now that you can play Deckard Cain again, he's actually a solid pick on Infernal Shrines. And especially in China, we see a lot of Alexstrasza in first pick rotations even on the map. Europe, not so much, at least not on the high level. But she's a hero that could make her way back into the meta, or at least into the Infernal Shrine meta again. So there's a lot of supports actually these days that are pretty much playable. There comes Dehaka, maybe this time not played by Born, we're not so sure yet. Kupshi on Malfurion. But yeah, let's have a look at the last double pick on the side of Washed Up. As we're seeing this little setup here getting played out. Washed Up needs one more map win and they have the series. And that would pretty much secure them rank 3 for now in the standings. Which would be pretty important there too. There we go. Nurok on Rexa. And Alarak played by Mena. Okay, they might swap something around here. But still, powerful setup for Washed Up. Dangerous setup for them too, especially if you're seeing the Anubarak stun initiation with Rexa following it up with another quick stun there through Misha. What are we going to have last on the side of Divine Vendetta? Is they're going to try and put the first point onto the board for themselves. It is... hesitation. Junkrat! Okay, the poke from the outside, they go for the rat. Junkrat comes in, and that is game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Infernal Shrines, Divine Vendetta against Washed Up. Let's jump into it without further ado. Game number 3 and potentially the final map in this series. In Division S, Washed Up going up against Divine Vendetta. The new guy replacing Death Knight, who apparently had issues, dropped out of the lobby and did not make his way back to Battle.net. Goggle now in play on Dehaka. Big shoes to fill after Born had a fantastic performance on that hero on Towers of Doom. Born himself now on Junkrat, Smaragd on Garrosh, Kupshi on Malfurion, and Slake playing Hanzo. On the right side of the map, we're seeing JPL on Alarak with Nurok on Ana. Eternal is playing Anubarak, Mena on Jaina, who stayed for the mage again, and Hazo Ops is playing Rexa in this third game. Talents, pretty much the norm. No big adjustments here, yet at least. And I don't expect anything else to happen on the side of Nurok there either. Full money pick style here against Mena. If our French boy knows one thing, then it's how to ride into battle in style. We're going to keep our eye out, of course, on the stacking progress on the side of Alarak, especially the level 4 talent, the main damage output here. But also Hazo Ops, dodging the Tong, and Goggle getting murdered a little bit here. That's also already the ping, and uh-oh, yeah, he's taking a beating there. A little bit nervous here maybe too, but that was definitely spicy. So good start for Hazops on the top lane. Already strong enough. There's Born again, trying to just jump away as the attack is heading for him. There's a 4-man rotation now between the mid and the bot lane. 4 Washed Up, trying to play that as much as they can. We're also seeing with the level 1 talent, Regeneration Master, the attempted plays for Anubarak. Goggle is in a really tough spot here. I mean, let's face it, he's currently in a position where he is so low already, and he tapped his Fountain too, if I'm not mistaken, that Hazops will dominate this. But as long as he can at least hold the experience, that would be enough. Important to note is also that with Anubarak into Garrosh, you need to be a little bit careful how hard you dive, how quickly you dive in, just to make sure that you can't get thrown deeper into the opponent's team, especially since we also have Junkrat. Junkrat alone can just continue that trend and catapult you even deeper into all of this. It's a lot of displacement for them, for sure. So, with that said, they're still having now the level 4 talent coming slightly quicker. There's obviously the negatively charged for Alarak. We're also having the bed of barbs taken for Eternal at the front line, so a little bit more control with that slow that they can use. JPL trying to get some stacks together. Missed out on that one. And we have at the same time now also still the talents here on Rexa. Rexa is actually waiting. Hazops is hesitating. Hunter-Gatherer, yeah, he's playing it safe. Hunter-Gatherer over Animal Husbandry, which at the beginning of Rexa's emergence in the meta was a bit of a go-to talent, but now that teams have started to really adapt to Rexa being in the meta and him being played in these games, we're seeing a lot more Hunter-Gatherer. Seeing a nice throw here against JPL too, and the root follow-up is fantastic. Nicely done, the kill. As Divine Vendetta take the first hit here. Well played. JPL, by the way, still without a single stack here. Was not able to hit that properly. We're also seeing at the top side now still a Goggle in position. I mean, so far he's just soaking the experience for his team. Obviously the guy gets thrown into the deep end here. He's like, oh, by the way, we need a sub player and we need him right now. Well, can we maybe train a little bit? No, we're playing right now. You didn't understand properly. Okay, cool. Who are you playing against? We're playing against a lot of HGC ex-pros, so you up for this? It's like, okay. But that time he's already in the lobby, he can't get out anymore, so yeah. But he's soaking the XP now down to the bottom of the map, and so far so good. Question is just, can he make the plays once that he has to join in here for the fight? But they have the earlier level 7 thanks to the kill, and they're trying to use that, of course, now. Goggle already at the bot lane. Okay, starts to move in. We get the drag, gets pushed away, gets the drag against Alarak. They're looking for the damage, but instead it is Smaragd who's low, and that's the kill. Nice root against Eternal, but it's not enough to seriously threaten him here. So with this done, 1 down. They get a 1-for-1 trade. I mean, Misha has fallen too, and there are still people that argue that Misha is actually the real hero, that Rexa is just the pet that she drags around the map. And you can see that argument. I mean, again, he is kind of the squishy here. And who are you more afraid of when you're playing against Rexa? Rexa or Misha? Yeah, I thought so. So the Haka starts to make the rotation down to the bottom. They know they can't win this one anymore, and they're starting to make the plays there. Alarak still with only 2 stacks. JPL 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the game. Not really getting too much of the extra damage at this point. It's gonna try, but there's a 3rd one, so maybe it's going to improve, but he definitely had some trouble there so far. Okay, there's the attempt to get some value out of Punisher number 1, and they get the wall, but I doubt that they're going to get much more than this. Maybe. The silence, good setup. Another stun coming through, but Smaragd is able to move out. They get the wall. That's mostly what you want, at least if you can get the keep itself, sorry, the fort itself. It's obviously fantastic, but either way, they were able to make a bit of a play there. So with this set, we're having now also still Alarak trying to get the stacks together for the damage output. Negatively charged, still a bit low. But besides this, they are still slightly behind in experience. Now that the towers don't give as much XP anymore as they did in the past, it's definitely more tricky to get ahead in experience and start that early snowball here. Doesn't mean that you can't pull it off. It's definitely a bit of a different experience setup that we had in the past, and Divine Vendetta is currently taking advantage of this by getting the lead in XP and maybe the early level 10. Main top side is using his wave clear to burn the wave down easily, and is the Haka going to burrow top? They're actually losing an entire wave right now. They're losing an entire wave topside. They're trying to force the fight down here in a 5 versus 4. Main is making his way in, but is going to be a bit late to the party. The problem is they were also late to the camp, so that is a really unfortunate spot now for Divine Vendetta. They lost the entire wave topside, didn't get any value at the bottom of the map, and that allowed Washed Up to start a comeback in experience and pretty much close the gap between the 2 teams here. Level 10 is still slightly earlier on the board for Divine Vendetta, but any moment now we will have Washed Up also with heroic abilities. And there we have it. Ring of Frost is being taken again. Main plays. We're having typical talents here on both sides. Maybe just point out that Malfurion actually... Ooh, there's the taunt. Can they get the kill? Oh, yes, they can. A bit of an Obama moment here as we have Hanzo going straight in for the kill with the final blown hit. But as I was about to say, no tranquility for Malfurion. Instead, we're actually seeing him with a Twilight Dream. And on the other side, we have the setup with a Nano Boost. Nano Boost for Mena. And at the bottom of the map, JPL. Sitting there on his 7 stacks on the baseline and dealing with the wave as much as he can. There's a little bit of a calmer game here at the beginning, I have to say. But I would assume that's going to change quickly once the next shrine is going to be announced and spawns on the map itself. For now, we have also unleashed the boars. Helps you a lot there too. Hunter-Gatherer is nearly completed. He's close. Shrine gets announced in the mid lane. And we're still having the camp protected by Misha. Rexa is also somewhere here, but Misha is the one running patrol. Trying to move along here. And yeah, they're gonna time this pretty much once that this one has been taken. Well, actually at this point with 10 seconds, they need to get it a bit quicker, and they do. But we're still having the commitment now towards the actual objective. And this is where we should really see the big fight. First of all, we still have Alarak pushing out an additional wave at the bot lane. That was already important. Top side, Dehaka now starting to move in. Rexa still present, and we actually have a lead in experience that could lead to a level 13 talent for Divine Vendetta at the back end of this particular objective. So that might just be enough for them if they can get the wave in the middle. Oh, that did not really work out with the Ring of Frost. Born actually gets away, and yeah, made a little bit salty. His aim was pretty good, but then the move out. In comes the Riptide, looking for value, doesn't find anything, and says like, alright, I'm gonna get minions now. explodes there and puts a bit of damage onto Jaina too. But still, the position as it is, pretty decent for Washed Up as they are taking the lead again on the objective. The combo against Garrosh. Goggle is moving in too, looking for a drag here, potentially, doesn't find it, zones them out though. Pushes them out at this point. Runs straight into Alarak, maybe a little bit too deep even. Misha still there, combo from JPL. Misha about to go down, and they get at least the bear. Smaragd, on the other hand, he's low on Garrett. He's really low. JVL wants to get the kill, but this is actually a big fight here for this one. Down to the bottom, Hanzo's in trouble, and I think Mena is going to get the kill eventually. Oh, 18 hit points. Nice. Hanzo comes back in, and the Arcane Punisher gets actually claimed by Divine Vendetta. Holy cow. They actually made it. It was 37 already for Washed Up, and then Divine Vendetta turns on the heat. They save Hanzo, and they get the Punisher too. Whew. And with a level 13 talent, this is actually a powerful push now. This is a really powerful push. And they're starting to get the value. Hanzo again with the arrow, but they can't get the kill. They're trying to get it against JPL, who's sitting at 8 stacks, by the way. So Alarak, as he falls, has gotten 1 stack during the entire fight that we just saw. And yeah, there's the 13, but this is Divine Vendetta stepping up their game significantly in the early stages. Nearly a level ahead right now with 3 kills against 1. They take the first fort down too. This is actually a bit nuts. And they rotate back down. Mena is all alone, but Mena gets the kill. Mena gets the kill against Hanzo as he falls too. It was a bit of a weird one. Mena gets ganked by 3 and is like, ah, got this. And then in true Mena fashion, he drops the target. So yeah, that was a good trade for them. At the same time, Dehaka dies at the top lane. Well, nobody saw it. Yeah, so Hazu gets the kill here, solo against Dehaka. Now let's be honest, that shouldn't happen. But the big battle at the bottom of the map, a 3 versus 3. As we have Born, the only damage dealer. Hanzo is already starting to make his way back in as well, but this camp is gonna be stolen away. So yeah, nicely done here. Yeah, top lane. That's actually where we're going to have that little adjustment now from Slag, as he has to watch out for this. Misha is getting super aggressive here today. Misha wants the kill. And tries to go in for that immediately. Talking kills and going in for it. Down to the bottom of the map. Smaragd gets attacked too. Drops the taunt here quickly to try and counteract that. 9 stacks now for JPL. JPL is definitely suffering a little bit on that. But 500 additional hit points now for Nubarak as he completes the Regeneration Master quest. Now when it comes to quest completion, we're actually looking pretty decent here on the side of the on their end. And one thing that Mena, he is still a far cry away from getting his eyes blocked. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit difficult for them. But the level 16 is gonna drop into the hands of both of the teams at roughly around the same time. Shouldn't be too much of a problem there. There it is. A bit earlier, as usual, for Divine Vendetta. Which obviously, we're having first of all the piercing arrow here. The tunneling claws on Dehaka. And Camp's taken top lane with the endless nades now being in 2. Cooldown reduction, the Earth Shaker as well. And the 16 talents on the other side with the Epicenter. Big talent, huge talent. This thing is absolutely insane. Cooldown reduction is amazing, and just the burrow charge increase is just great. It's honestly fantastic. At the top side, Goggle has a lot of respect right now for Rexa. 4 kills against 3. Still seeing over here Mena just trying to time this as best as they can. As the next shrine gets announced at the bottom of the map. Feign death for Hazops. And camps are taken. Kupshi is waiting a little bit longer. They want to make sure that they can get an advantage at the top lane through the Shaman camp. And the later timing usually wins out on that. Just slightly. With this, we're now having again Mena Nurok already on the shrine itself. 5 seconds before it's going to spawn. Dehaka is going to attempt to push this out and help his own camp here to get the value. Yeah, that's already some damage done. And the fight at the bottom of the map is already starting out. So Dehaka eventually going to be burrowing in. Is actually arriving right now. Misses the drag against Hazops. Hazu still alive here, easily walking away from this one. The ring and the immediate Twilight Dream on the other side from Malfurion. They're trying to make the play for Goggle and he goes down. The Goggle is dead. Smaragd also. Oh, now in trouble and falls. There, the kills. Slake is on the run. Misha wants the second stun and gets it, and that's a triple kill. Triple baby, as we are having washed up, just cleaning house here in this third game on the third shrine. So right now, 13 stacks for Alarak, JPL, and they're escorting, of course, the minion waves already through the bot lane just before the Punisher is even taken. But with 6 kills against 4, they are now starting to take it. They had an experience, half a level, top lane push, significant one in that. Hazops is actually saying, well, I still got my Shaman there. I'm going to push this out. They're trying to take that out. Shaman is down. The problem is this fort is still gonna fall. I just see no way. Well, no, that Kupchi comes in. Maybe they can save it. Nah, ain't happening. So that fort is gonna, well, it's gonna be close, but Misha is also there. Kind of forgot about Misha. Shame on me. Misha takes the fort down. The one at the bot lane is also destroyed. In the mid lane, we even have a bit more value through those Khazras that are going to help out here too. Arexa could rotate in for that as well. And obviously, in an ideal world, they're going to try and take the keep too. Down here at the bottom of the map. Having a big of a look there at what we're seeing in terms of damage. Look at Hazu. Rexa with 33,000 hero damage. Alright, that could be because Alarak is not getting really his stacks together on level 4. But damn son, that ain't too bad. It's pretty solid actually. In comes the taunt, the Ring of Frost, and the kill against the Nuburak. Arrow comes out through, and they get the kill against the Haka. Alright, kill for kill here. But we have the double kill as Hanzo falls. The keep is also down, and they're going to make the play for the core now. With Smaragd about to fall, yeah, there's the dead Garrosh. And that is going to be another game in favor of Washed Up. They're going to take the series with a 3-0 right here. JPL surviving for just a bit longer as they're trying to move in here through. But the level 20 talents are now obviously ready as well. That gives us the rewind, the hasty bargain. We're having the dynamic optics taken on Ana as the game ends and Washed Up claims the victory in the series. Best of 5 ending with a 3-0 in favor of Washed Up. GG and well played as they claim the win against Divine Vendatte.